She walked into the gym 7 months pregnant, just wanting to do her prenatal yoga, to stay healthy for her baby. She never expected to see her husband there, with his hands on another woman. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part came when the other woman smiled at her, that cold, calculating smile, and said 5 words that changed everything. I know, that's the problem. Then came the kick. Deliberate, precise, aimed right at her pregnant belly. Blood on the floor, screaming, chaos, a baby fighting for survival. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The personal trainer who witnessed everything, he wasn't just a trainer, he was an undercover cop. And he had the whole thing on camera. What started as a shocking assault turned into something much bigger. A conspiracy, deleted text messages, voice recordings, and a husband who knew more than he ever admitted. This is the story of a woman who refused to be a victim, of a baby who survived against all odds, and of justice that came in the most unexpected way. Stay with me, because this story has layers you won't believe. The sound of her water bottle hitting the gym floor echoed through the weight room. Then came the scream. Natalie Hayes stood frozen in the doorway of Elite Fitness, her 7-month pregnant belly leading the way like it always did now. She had come early for her prenatal yoga class, 20 minutes early because the instructor always saved her the spot near the wall where she could lean back during the breathing exercises. But Derek's car was in the parking lot, his silver BMW that he said was in Philadelphia for a real estate conference. Her hands moved instinctively to cradle her belly. The baby kicked, a strong one right under her ribs. The familiar sound of his laugh pulled her forward, not toward the yoga studio, toward the weight area where the serious lifters worked, where Derek used to go before he got too busy for the gym. Before he started working late every Thursday, before he stopped touching her, she rounded the corner and saw them. Derek stood behind a woman with long dark hair pulled into a high ponytail. His hands rested on her hips, adjusting her stance. Close, too close. The woman wore expensive athletic gear. The kind Natalie used to buy before maternity clothes became her entire wardrobe. Keep your core tight, Derek said. His voice had that tone, the one he used to use with Natalie, intimate, playful. The woman laughed and leaned back into him. Like this? Natalie's water bottle slipped from her hand. It hit the rubber floor with a hollow thud that seemed impossibly loud. Derek's head snapped up. His face went white. Actually white, like someone had drained all the blood out of him in 1 second. The woman turned. She was beautiful. 27, maybe 28. Flawless skin, the kind of body that came from living at the gym. She looked at Natalie's pregnant mom and something cruel flickered across her face. Derek? Natalie heard her own voice, small and confused. This is happening. This is really happening. The woman's eyes traveled from Natalie's face to her belly and back up again. Then she smiled, not a friendly smile, a knowing smile. You must be the wife. The woman took a step forward. He talks about you. Past tense, mostly. The baby kicked again, harder this time. Natalie's hands pressed against her stomach, protective, instinctive. Don't. Natalie's voice shook. Don't. Come near me. I'm pregnant. I know. The woman took another step. That's the problem. Everything happened in slow motion and too fast at the same time. The woman's leg came up, a deliberate, controlled movement, like she had practiced it. Her expensive athletic shoe connected with Natalie's rounded belly. Hard, precise, meant to hurt. Pain exploded through Natalie's abdomen. She felt herself falling backward. Her head cracked against the edge of a weight bench. The fluorescent lights above spun and blurred. Someone was screaming. It took her a moment to realize it was her. Blood. She saw blood on the floor. Her blood. The baby. Oh God, the baby. A man appeared above her, the personal trainer who was always walking around with a clipboard. He pressed his hand against her shoulder, holding her still. Don't move. Stay still. I'm calling 911. His voice was different than she remembered. Deeper. Official. Like he had done this before. More voices, shouting. Derek's voice somewhere far away, panicked and high. The trainer stood up. In one swift movement, he grabbed the dark-haired woman and spun her around, pressing her against the mirrored wall. Don't move. Don't speak. His whole demeanor had changed. This was not a gym employee. This was someone with authority, someone who knew how to restrain people. Derek rushed forward. Natalie, I can explain. This isn't what it looks like. The trainer stepped between them. Step back, now. She's my wife. I said step back. Natalie lay on the floor, hands on her belly, counting. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. If I can count to 10, I'm still here. I'm still okay. The baby's still okay. The woman against the wall started to struggle. Get your hands off me. She attacked me first. I was defending myself. The trainer didn't move. Ma'am, I watched the whole thing. That's not what happened, and you're on camera. Sirens. Thank God, sirens. Natalie turned her head slightly. A small pool of blood was forming beneath her. Not a lot, but enough. Enough to know something was very wrong. Other gym members gathered at a distance. Phones out, recording. This was going to be everywhere. Her humiliation, her pain, her pregnancy, all of it, online by tonight. 2 police officers entered, followed closely by paramedics. The trainer spoke to them quietly, gesturing to the cameras mounted in the corners. Then he pointed to the woman. She deliberately kicked this pregnant woman in the stomach. Unprovoked assault. I witnessed the entire incident. One of the officers pulled out handcuffs. The dark-haired woman's face transformed from cruel confidence to shock. This is insane. Do you know who my father is? The officer turned her around, pulling her wrist behind her back. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it. The paramedics knelt beside Natalie, a young woman with kind eyes and steady hands. I'm Sarah. I need you to stay very still, okay? We're going to check you and the baby. There's blood, Natalie whispered. I see it. We're going to take care of you. Can you tell me your name? Natalie Hayes. I'm 7 months pregnant. Sarah placed a blood pressure cuff on Natalie's arm, while her partner brought over a portable fetal monitor. The cold gel on her belly made her flinch. The familiar sound of her baby's heartbeat filled the air. Fast, irregular, but there, still there. Natalie started to cry, relief and terror in equal measure. Derek tried to approach again. Nat, please, let me come with you to the hospital. Get away from me. Her own voice surprised her. Strong, clear. Don't touch me. Don't come near me. But the baby you haven't asked about, once since your girlfriend kicked it? The paramedics lifted her onto a stretcher. The movement sent fresh pain through her abdomen. She gasped. Easy, Sarah said. We've got you. As they wheeled her toward the ambulance, the trainer appeared beside her. He pressed a business card into her hand. You're going to need this, he said quietly. She looked at the card. It had a name, Marcus Reeves, and underneath a phone number. Nothing else. Who are you? Someone who's going to make sure she pays for what she did. The ambulance doors closed. Through the window, Natalie saw Derek standing in the parking lot, hands in his hair, looking lost. The dark-haired woman was in the back of a police car, screaming something Natalie couldn't hear. The siren started. The ambulance pulled away, and Natalie lay there, hands on her belly, feeling her baby move. Weak movements. Uncertain. Like the baby was asking if everything was okay. She didn't know how to answer. The ambulance siren created a rhythm. On, off, on, off. Natalie counted the cycles. 17, 18, 19. Sarah, the paramedic, held her hand. Your blood pressure is elevated, but that's normal given what just happened. The baby's heartbeat is strong. It doesn't feel strong. 142 beats per minute. That's good for a baby under stress. They're fighting. Fighting. Her baby was fighting. The hospital appeared too quickly and not quickly enough. Emergency room doors, bright lights, too many voices at once. 30-year-old female, 7 months pregnant, blunt force trauma to abdomen. Witnessed assault, deliberate kick to pregnant belly. Possible placental abruption, visible vaginal bleeding. A new doctor appeared, older, calm. She had silver hair pulled back in a neat bun. I'm Dr. Jennifer Warren. I'm going to take care of you and your baby. Can you tell me where the pain is worst? Natalie pointed to her lower abdomen. Here, and my back. It hurts in my back. Dr. Warren's face remained neutral, but something flickered in her eyes. We're going to do an ultrasound right away. I need to see what's happening inside. They wheeled her into a dimmed room. The ultrasound machine hummed to life. More cold gel, the wand pressing against her belly. On the screen, Natalie saw her baby, moving, swimming, still alive. Talk to me about the baby's movement, Dr. Warren said. Less than before, weaker. The doctor made notes on her tablet. She moved the wand, checking different angles. Her expression gave nothing away. Natalie's phone buzzed. Derek. She declined the call. It buzzed again. She powered it off. Good, Dr. Warren said. Focus on you and your baby right now. Everything else can wait. A nurse came in. Doctor, there are 2 police officers here to take a statement. Not yet. My patient needs rest and monitoring. They can wait. Natalie wanted to kiss this woman, someone protecting her, someone putting her first. Am I going to lose my baby? Dr. Warren stopped moving the wand. She looked directly at Natalie. I don't know yet. I see some concerning signs. The placenta is showing signs of partial separation. That's called placental abruption. It means the placenta is pulling away from your uterine wall. What does that mean? It means we're going to admit you for observation, at least 48 hours. We're going to monitor you and the baby constantly. If things get worse, we may need to deliver early. But I'm only 7 months. A baby born at 7 months has an excellent chance of survival with proper care. But let's not borrow trouble. Right now, your baby is stable. We're going to keep it that way. They moved her to a labor and delivery room. Private, quiet. The constant beeping of the fetal monitor filled the silence. A knock on the door. A man in a suit entered. Not a doctor. He had a badge clipped to his belt. Mrs. Hayes, I'm Detective Chen. I need to ask you a few questions about what happened. Dr. Warren stepped between them. My patient needs rest. I understand, but we have a suspect in custody. We need her statement. Natalie sat up slightly. The woman, the one who kicked me. Who is she? Her name is Vanessa Pierce. She's been arrested for assault. Do you know her? No, I've never seen her before today. What about your husband? Does he know her? The question hung in the air. Heavy, obvious. Apparently he does. Detective Chen pulled out a small notebook. Can you walk me through exactly what happened? Natalie told him. Every detail. The parking lot, Derek's car, the weight room, the cruel smile, the kick. The trainer, Natalie said. Marcus? He saw everything. He said there were cameras. We have the footage. I've already reviewed it. It's very clear. Clear how? Clear that Miss Pierce watched you for approximately 15 minutes before approaching. Clear that her assault was deliberate and unprovoked. Clear that she intended to harm you and your unborn child. 15 minutes. She had watched Natalie for 15 minutes, waiting for the right moment. That's premeditated, Natalie said. That's what we're investigating. Another knock. This time the man from the gym entered. Marcus, but he looked different, more official. He nodded to Detective Chen. Mrs. Hayes, we haven't been properly introduced. I'm Detective Marcus Reeves with the Metro Police Department. Natalie stared at him. You're a cop? I've been working undercover at Elite Fitness for the past 3 months investigating insurance fraud. The gym owner has been running a scam with fake injury claims. I was there to document it. So you're not a personal trainer? I am. That's my cover. But I'm also a detective, and I installed additional surveillance equipment throughout the gym 2 weeks ago. He pulled out a tablet, which means I have footage of today from multiple angles, and footage from the past 3 months. He turned the tablet toward her. On the screen, she saw herself entering the gym, saw Derek and Vanessa together, saw the moment Vanessa turned and walked toward her. Marcus played it in slow motion. Vanessa's face as she lifted her leg, the deliberate aim, the force behind the kick. Natalie's hands started shaking. I need to see it again. Are you sure? I need to remember her face, exactly as it was when she chose to do this. He played it again and again. Each time, Natalie memorized another detail, the smile, the calculation, the complete lack of remorse. There's more, Marcus said. He swiped to another video. This is from 2 hours before the assault. On screen, Vanessa sat in her car in the parking lot. She was on her phone, typing, waiting. She arrived 2 hours early, Natalie said. Correct. And based on phone records we've subpoenaed, she and your husband exchanged 17 text messages during that time. Derek, he knew. He knew she was coming to the gym today. He knew Vanessa was there. The baby kicked, hard, angry, like the baby could feel Natalie's rage building. I want to press charges. Already done, Marcus said. She's been charged with assault and battery on a pregnant woman. That's a felony, but based on the evidence, the DA is considering upgrading the charges. To what? Attempted murder of an unborn child. The words settled over the room like snow, cold, final. Dr. Warren stepped forward. Gentlemen, my patient needs rest. No more questions today. They left, the door closed. Natalie was alone with the beeping monitor and her thoughts. She did that thing every woman does when something unbearable happens. She counted. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. If I can count to 10, I'm still here. I'm still okay. The baby's still okay. 10 breaths, then 20, then 30. Her phone buzzed. She had turned it back on without thinking. A text from Derek. Please, let me explain. I love you. She stared at the words, tried to find truth in them, found only lies. Another text came through, a video from an unknown number. Her finger hesitated over the delete button. Then she pressed play. The video showed Derek and Vanessa in a hotel room. Expensive sheets, champagne, his hands on her face, her laugh, that same cruel laugh from the gym. The timestamp read 1 week ago. Thursday night, when he said he was meeting clients. Natalie watched her husband kiss another woman. Watched him whisper something that made Vanessa smile. Watched him betray her and their unborn child with someone who would later try to kill that child. She set the phone down, turned her face to the window, watched the sun setting over the hospital parking lot. In the ambulance, she had counted sirens. Now she counted lies. How many times had Derek lied? How many Thursdays? How many business trips? How many times had he come home and climbed into bed beside her, smelling like someone else? The baby moved, slower than before, gentler, like the baby was tired too. We're going to be okay, Natalie whispered. I don't know how, but we're going to be okay. The monitor beeped, the sun set, the lies stacked up like bricks, building a wall between her old life and whatever came next. And somewhere in the city, Vanessa Pierce sat in a jail cell, probably still smiling. At 2 in the morning, Natalie's mother arrived. Carol Hayes swept into the hospital room like a force of nature, despite being 58 years old and barely 5 feet tall. Her gray hair was pulled back in the same tight bun she had worn for 30 years of teaching elementary school. She had the look of a woman who had dealt with too many misbehaving children and too much bureaucratic nonsense to be intimidated by anything. She took one look at Natalie in the hospital bed, at the monitors and IVs, and her face crumpled. Baby girl, Natalie started crying. She had held it together for the police, for the doctors, for herself, but mothers have a way of breaking through walls. Carol sat on the edge of the bed and wrapped Natalie in her arms, careful of the belly, careful of the wires and tubes, but fierce in her protection. I should have seen it, Natalie sobbed. I should have known. No, this is not on you. This is on him and that woman. Another voice from the doorway. It's on me, too. Beth Donovan stood there, Natalie's best friend since college. She looked like she had been crying. Her scrubs were wrinkled. She worked the night shift in pediatrics 2 floors down. I knew, Beth said. I've known for 2 months. I saw them together at a restaurant downtown. I wanted to tell you, but you were so happy about the baby. You were glowing. And I kept thinking maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just dinner. Maybe you let me walk into that gym blind. The words came out harsher than Natalie intended, but they were true. Beth flinched. I know, and I'm sorry. I was scared. I was selfish. I didn't want to be the one to destroy your happiness. So you let someone else do it instead. Carol stood up. Both of you stop. This is what he wants. He wants us fighting each other instead of fighting him. She was right. Natalie knew she was right, but knowing something and feeling something were different things. How long? Natalie asked Beth. I saw them in August. It was the night of your baby shower. I drove past that Italian place on 5th Street, And I saw his car. I went inside and there they were, in a back booth, her hand on his face. The night of her baby shower. Natalie remembered that night, 30 women celebrating her pregnancy, playing silly games, eating cake, while Derek was with Vanessa, planning a future that didn't include the baby or the wife. He left early that night, Natalie said. Told me he had an emergency with a property deal. I know, I watched him leave with her, watched them get into his car together. The monitor beeped faster, the baby's heart rate rising with Natalie's blood pressure. Dr. Warren appeared in the doorway. Ladies, my patient's vitals are spiking. I need everyone to step outside for a moment. Carol squeezed Natalie's hand. I'm calling Robert Sullivan. He's the best divorce attorney in the state. Mom, I can't think about that right now. You don't have to think. I'll think for you. You focus on keeping that baby safe. They left. Dr. Warren checked the monitors, adjusted the IV. Your baby's heart rate is elevated, so is yours. You need to calm down. How am I supposed to calm down? By remembering that stress affects the baby. I know that's not fair. I know you have every right to be stressed. But right now, your job is to stay as calm as possible. Natalie closed her eyes, focused on breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth, the way they taught her in the prenatal classes that Derek stopped attending after the third session. Better, Dr. Warren said. I'm going to give you something to help you sleep. Just a mild sedative. Safe for the baby. I don't want to sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see her face. I see him. I see all of it. I know, but your body needs rest to heal. The baby needs you to rest. The medication went into her IV. Warmth spread through her veins. Her eyes grew heavy. Dr. Warren? Yes. Am I going to lose my baby? The doctor sat down into the chair beside the bed. I'm going to be honest with you. The next 48 hours are critical. The placental abruption could get worse. It could stay the same. In rare cases, it can heal. We're monitoring constantly. If anything changes, we'll act immediately. What are the chances? I don't deal in chances. I deal in facts. The fact is your baby's alive right now. The heart is beating. The movements are decreased but present. That's what we focus on. Natalie's eyes closed. She fought against the medication, but it was stronger than her will. I'm not going to let anything happen to either of you. Dr. Warren's voice came from far away. You have my word. Natalie woke to daylight and voices. Detective Reeves stood at the foot of her bed, talking quietly with another man in a suit. This one was older, with silver hair and an expensive watch. Mrs. Hayes, the older man said, I'm Robert Sullivan. Your mother hired me. I specialize in family law and criminal cases. I can't afford you. Your mother has paid my retainer. We can discuss fees later. Right now, I need to talk to you about your husband and Vanessa Pierce. He pulled out a folder thick with papers. Photographs, text messages, financial records. Your husband's phone records show 847 text messages to Vanessa Pierce over the past 6 months. 847. Natalie tried to imagine that many conversations, that many lies. The messages start in April. That's when you were 3 months pregnant, correct? Yes. He met her at the gym. She's an aspiring fitness influencer, 27 years old, lives in a condo her father pays for. Robert spread photographs across the hospital tray table. Vanessa at restaurants, Vanessa at hotels, Vanessa wearing a bracelet that looked expensive. This bracelet, Robert pointed, your husband purchased it 3 days before your birthday, $15,000. Do you recognize it? No. What did he get you for your birthday? Natalie had to think. Drugstore perfume. He said money was tight because of a bad real estate deal. Robert made a note. There was no bad deal. Your joint bank account shows regular deposits, but there's also a separate account in his name only. He's been transferring money there for months, approximately $5,000 per month. $5,000. While Natalie was clipping coupons and buying generic prenatal vitamins. There's more, Detective Reeves said. He pulled out his tablet. After the assault yesterday, your husband called Vanessa from the hospital parking lot. We have a recording. He pressed play. Derek's voice came through the speaker. Baby, I know this looks bad, but we can spin this. Your dad's lawyers can make this go away. We just need to. Vanessa's voice, sharp and angry. You said she'd never find out. You promised me. You said you were going to leave her after the baby was born. I am. This just complicates things. Complicates? I'm in jail, Derek. Jail because of your stupid wife and her stupid baby. A long pause. Then Derek's voice quieter. Don't call the baby stupid. Why not? It's the only thing standing between us. The recording ended. Natalie felt something crack open inside her chest. Not her heart. Hearts were too soft. This was bone, breaking clean. That's not just assault anymore, Robert said. That's conspiracy. They discussed the pregnancy as an obstacle. She took action to remove that obstacle. He knew about her intentions and didn't stop her. Did he know she was going to kick me? We're investigating that. Phone records show he texted her your gym schedule 2 days ago. The room tilted. Natalie gripped the bed rail. He told her where I'd be. We believe so. We're getting a warrant for his phone. If we find evidence that he explicitly planned the assault with her, he'll face criminal charges too. Natalie looked at the monitor. The baby's heartbeat. Still there. Still fighting. I want a divorce. Good, Robert said. I've already started the paperwork. But first we need to protect you and your assets. Do you own your house jointly? Yes. Cars? The BMW is his. I drive a Honda. Both titles are in both names. Bank accounts? One joint checking, one joint savings. That's it. Robert made notes. We're going to freeze everything, file for a restraining order, protect your half of all assets, and we're going to make sure he pays for every single thing he's done. Carol came back in, carrying coffee and a bag from the cafeteria. The news crews are outside. It's all over the internet. Someone posted the gym video. No, Natalie's stomach dropped. Please, no. It's already viral. 12 million views and counting. 12 million people watching the worst moment of her life. 12 million people seeing her humiliation, her pain, her pregnant belly being kicked like a soccer ball. Carol set down the coffee and took Natalie's hand. Listen to me, they know this feels terrible, but those 12 million people are on your side. The comments are calling her a monster. They're calling him a coward. This isn't your shame. It's theirs. I don't want to be famous for being a victim. You're not a victim. You're a survivor. There's a difference, Abed. Dr. Warren entered with news. We need to do another ultrasound. The baby's movement has decreased. Everything else stopped mattering. The ultrasound room felt colder this time. Or maybe Natalie was colder. She couldn't tell anymore. Dr. Warren moved the wand slowly across her belly. The screen showed the baby in profile. Tiny nose, tiny chin, not moving. Come on, Natalie whispered. Please move. Please. Seconds stretched into years. The doctor's face remained carefully neutral, the kind of neutral that meant something bad. Then, a flicker, a small movement. The baby's hand opened and closed. There, Dr. Warren said, your baby just moved. Right there. Natalie broke, sobbing. The baby was alive, still fighting. The abruption hasn't worsened, the doctor continued. That's good news, but the baby is showing signs of stress. We're going to increase monitoring, every hour instead of every 2 hours. What does that mean for delivery? If things stay stable, we wait. Every day the baby stays inside is better, but if things get worse, we deliver immediately. You're at 29 weeks now. A baby born at 29 weeks has a 90% survival rate with proper NICU care. 90%. That left 10% that didn't make it. Back in her room, Natalie's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages from people she hadn't talked to in years. Friends, acquaintances, Derek's family, his mother, Linda Hayes. The message read, I need to speak with you immediately. This is important. Natalie deleted it. Another message. Derek's brother. My mom is very upset. Please call her. Deleted. Derek himself. 17 messages. She scrolled through them without reading. Saw words like sorry and explain and love. All lies. She deleted them all. Beth returned during visiting hours. She brought flowers and guilt. I should have told you the moment I saw them. Natalie was tired of being angry. Tired of everything. You should have, but I probably wouldn't have believed you. I would have made excuses for him. I was already making excuses. What do you mean? The late nights, the new cologne, the way he stopped touching me after I started showing. I noticed all of it. I just chose to ignore it. She pulled out her phone, opened the Notes app. The list she had started at 3 in the morning when sleep wouldn't come. 37 things, Natalie said. I counted 37 red flags I ignored because I wanted to believe everything was fine. Beth read the list. Her expression grew more horrified with each line. New cologne. Started in April. Gym membership he never used in April. Thursday night meetings that always ran late, every Thursday since May. Stopped attending prenatal appointments. After the third one, stopped asking about the baby, around June. New password on his phone, July. Turned his phone face down, all the time. Showered immediately when he got home. Always. You knew, Beth said quietly. I knew. Somewhere deep down, I knew, and I chose to ignore it. The hardest part wasn't what they did. It was accepting that she knew all along, that some part of her had been screaming warnings, and she had shoved that part down into a dark corner and locked it there. Her phone buzzed again. This time, an unknown number. Against her better judgment, she answered. Mrs. Hayes? A woman's voice. Older. Refined. This is Linda Hayes, your mother-in-law. Natalie should have hung up. She didn't. I don't want to talk to you. I need you to drop the charges against that girl. The audacity was breathtaking. Excuse me? She made a mistake. She's young. She panicked. Derek told me everything. You confronted her first. You were aggressive. I was aggressive? I'm 7 months pregnant. She kicked me in the stomach. That's not how Derek tells it. Derek is a liar. He's my son, and you're destroying his life. That girl's father is a very powerful attorney. This could ruin Derek's business, his reputation. Natalie felt something shift inside her. The last piece of the old her, the one who tried to please everyone, snapped off and fell away. Your son is having an affair with a woman who tried to kill my baby. I don't care about his reputation. You drove him to this. With your constant nagging about the baby, he felt trapped. He felt trapped? I'm the one trapped in a hospital bed wondering if my baby will survive. If you had been a better wife. Natalie hung up. Her hands were shaking, not from fear, from rage. The baby kicked, hard, angry, like the baby could feel Natalie's fury and approved. My baby is fighting. If this baby can fight, so can I. Daughter Warren entered for the hourly check. She took one look at Natalie's face and the blood pressure reading and frowned. What happened? My mother-in-law happened. Is she here? No, she called, told me I should drop charges against the woman who kicked me because I was a bad wife. Dr. Warren's expression hardened. Would you like me to put her on the no-visitor list? Yes, her and anyone else from Derek's family. Done. The doctor made a note in her tablet. Mrs. Hayes, I need you to understand something. Stress like this can harm the baby. I know you can't control what other people do or say, but you can control who has access to you. You are allowed to protect yourself. You are allowed to say no. I've never been good at saying no. Start practicing. Your baby needs you strong. After the doctor left, Natalie sat in the dim room, listening to the monitor beep, counting the baby's heartbeats. 140, 142, 145. She opened her phone, typed 3 words in the browser search bar. How to file for divorce while pregnant. Deleted it, typed it again. Deleted it again. Type, delete, type, delete, type. This time she pressed search. The results loaded, articles about filing while pregnant, advice columns, lawyer websites. All of it suddenly, terrifyingly real. She didn't delete the search this time. Instead, she took a screenshot, saved it to a folder called New Life. Then she texted Robert Sullivan. I'm ready. File the papers. His response came immediately. Already done. He'll be served tomorrow. Tomorrow, Derek would be served with divorce papers tomorrow. The old Natalie would have felt guilty, would have worried about his feelings, would have tried to protect him from consequences. The new Natalie, the one being born in this hospital room alongside her baby, felt nothing but grim satisfaction. A knock on the door. Marcus Reeves entered, carrying his tablet. I have an update. Vanessa Pierce posted bail this morning. $50,000. Her father paid it within an hour of the arraignment. Natalie's heart sank. She's out? She's out, but there's a no-contact order. She's not allowed within 100 yards of you. She's wearing an ankle monitor, and she's been ordered to surrender her passport. What are the actual charges? Right now, assault and battery on a pregnant woman, but the DA is reviewing the evidence for additional charges. The text messages between her and your husband are particularly damning. He showed her his tablet. Screenshots of messages between Derek and Vanessa. From Derek, she's at yoga Tuesday and Thursday mornings, 9:30. From Vanessa, perfect. I'll be there. 2 days before the assault, Derek had given Vanessa Natalie's schedule. Is this enough for conspiracy charges? The DA thinks so, but we need more. We need proof that they explicitly discussed harming you or the baby. Will you find it? I'm going to try. Vanessa's lawyer scrubbed her social media, but nothing is ever really deleted. We have forensic specialists recovering deleted messages and posts. Marcus paused. There's something else. Your husband withdrew $20,000 in cash from your joint savings account yesterday. After the assault, or $20,000, their emergency fund, the money they had saved for the baby's college fund. Can he do that? Legally, yes, it's a joint account. But your lawyer is freezing all remaining accounts as of this morning. He can't touch anything else. Natalie felt numb. How much more could one person take before they just shattered completely? I need to ask you something, Marcus said, and you don't have to answer if you're not ready. But did your husband ever express any negative feelings about the pregnancy? The question hung in the air. Heavy, complicated. He was happy at first, Natalie said slowly. When I told him I was pregnant, he cried, good at tears. But then what? Around the second trimester, he changed, got distant, started working more. He said he was stressed about money, about being a father. I thought it was normal. Everyone says pregnancy is hard on marriages. Did he ever say he didn't want the baby? Natalie thought back, tried to remember exact words, exact moments. Once, I was 5 months along. I was excited because I had just felt the baby kick for the first time. I grabbed his hand, wanted him to feel it too. He pulled away, said he wasn't ready, said everything was moving too fast. What did you say? I laughed it off, told him ready or not, the baby was coming. He didn't laugh. He just stared at my belly like it was something alien. Marcus made notes. Did his behavior change after that? Yes, he stopped touching me completely, moved to the guest room, said I snored because of the pregnancy, but I think he just couldn't stand looking at me. The words came out before she could stop them. The ugly truth she had been hiding even from herself. He didn't want this baby, and now his girlfriend tried to get rid of it for him. We're going to prove that, Marcus said. We're going to prove all of it. After he left, Natalie lay in the dark. The baby moved. Small, gentle movements. Like the baby was tired but still there, still holding on. She pressed her hands to her belly, felt the shape of a tiny foot pushing against her palm. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm sorry I didn't protect you better. I'm sorry I brought you into this mess. But I promise you, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make sure you're safe, even if it means burning down everything I thought my life was supposed to bump. The baby pushed back. One strong kick, like a response, like the baby understood. Natalie closed her eyes. Tomorrow, Derek would be served. Tomorrow, the legal battle would begin. But tonight, in this quiet room, it was just her and the baby. 2 fighters, 2 survivors. Tomorrow could wait. Morning came with news crews in the parking lot and a process server in the hospital lobby. Derek was served with divorce papers outside his office building at 9:15. Natalie knew because Robert Sullivan sent her a photo. Derek standing on the sidewalk, staring at the papers like he couldn't understand what they said. How do you feel? Carol asked. She had spent the night in the reclining chair beside Natalie's bed. I don't know. Empty, maybe, or full. I can't tell the difference anymore. Her phone buzzed. A video message from an unknown number. She almost deleted it. Then she saw the thumbnail, a hotel hallway. She pressed play. The video showed Derek and Vanessa entering a hotel room, laughing, his hand on her lower back. The timestamp read 1 week ago, last Thursday, when he said he had a late client meeting. The video continued, room service arriving, champagne. Then the camera angle changed. Someone had recorded through the window from an adjacent building. She watched her husband kiss another woman, watched him whisper something that made Vanessa laugh, watched him betray her and their baby in high definition. Natalie set the phone down carefully. She didn't cry. She was past crying. Who sent that? I don't know. Carol picked up the phone. It's from a burner app. Could be anyone. Another message came through, this time financial documents. Derek's credit card statements, highlighted charges, Tiffany's, $15,000, the bracelet, the Ritz, multiple nights, always Thursdays, Nobu, expensive dinners, designer boutique, women's clothes, size small. 3 days before Natalie's birthday, Derek had bought Vanessa a $15,000 bracelet. 3 days later, he gave Natalie $20 perfume from CVS. I'm going to be sick. Carol grabbed the basin just in time. Morning sickness had never been this bad. This was pure rage expelled through her body. Dr. Warren appeared. What's wrong? Evidence, Natalie managed. Evidence of what my husband spent our money on. The doctor checked her vitals. Your blood pressure is through the roof. This isn't good for the baby. Nothing about this is good for the baby. I know. I know it's not fair, but right now you need to focus on staying calm. How? How am I supposed to stay calm when my entire life is imploding? Dr. Warren sat down on the edge of the bed. By remembering that stress affects the baby more than the divorce, more than the betrayal, more than anything Derek has done. The baby doesn't understand any of that. The baby only understands your stress hormones flooding through the placenta. She was right. Natalie hated that she was right. I'll try to remedy. Don't try do. For the next 48 hours, your only job is to keep that baby safe. Let your lawyer handle Derek. Let the police handle Vanessa. You focus on breathing and staying calm. After the doctor left, Carol forwarded all the evidence to Robert Sullivan. Then she took Natalie's phone and turned it off. No more for today. You need rest. Natalie wanted to argue, but she was so tired. Tired of fighting, tired of being strong, tired of everything. She slept. She woke to voices in the hallway, Beth talking to someone, a man's voice she didn't recognize. The door opened. Beth entered with a stranger, 30-something, well-dressed, carrying a briefcase. This is Natalie, Beth said. Nat, this is James Chen. He's a friend from nursing school. He does digital forensics now. James smiled awkwardly. I heard what happened. I'm sorry, but I might be able to help. How? I specialize in recovering deleted data, social media posts, text messages, emails, things people think are gone forever. He set his briefcase on the table. A mutual friend asked me to look into Vanessa Pierce's digital footprint. Who asked you? Someone who wants to help but needs to stay anonymous. That's all I can say. He pulled out a laptop. Vanessa deleted her Instagram and Facebook accounts the day after the assault, but I was able to recover cached versions, along with every post and message she's made in the past year. He turned the screen toward Natalie. Screenshots filled the display. Posts from Vanessa's Instagram, a photo from 3 months ago. Vanessa at the gym wearing expensive workout clothes. The caption read, "Manifesting my dream life. What you want wants you back." Another photo from 2 months ago. A sunset. Caption, "Everything happens for a reason. Obstacles are just opportunities in disguise." The photos got more pointed as they got more recent. A photo from 6 weeks ago. Vanessa holding champagne. Caption, "Good things come to those who take them." A photo from 3 weeks ago. A diamond necklace. Caption, "He knows what I'm worth." But it was the deleted post that made Natalie's blood run cold. A post from 2 weeks before the assault. Deleted within hours of posting. Recovered from cache. Pregnant wives are temporary problems. Time to handle my business. Another deleted post. 1 week before the assault. Some people don't know when they've lost. Time to help her understand. James scrolled to text messages. Recovered from Vanessa's phone backup. Messages between Vanessa and her best friend, a woman named Stephanie. Stephanie, is he really going to leave him? Vanessa. He says he will after the baby is born, but that's months away. I'm not waiting. Stephanie. What are you going to do, Aru? Vanessa. Fix the problem. She goes to yoga at that gym every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to make her regret ever marrying him. Stephanie. V, that sounds crazy. You can't just... Vanessa. Watch me. The timestamp. 2 weeks before the assault. She planned it, Natalie said. She planned the whole thing. Yes, James said. And she told multiple people about it. We have 4 different text conversations where she explicitly states she's going to handle the wife problem. He pulled up another file, a voice recording. This is from her best friend, Grace. She recorded a conversation they had at a coffee shop. He pressed play. Vanessa's voice came through the speakers, clear, confident, cruel. He's never going to leave her while she's pregnant. She's got him trapped with that baby. So I need to fix that. Make her miscarry. Then he'll be free. Grace's voice uncertain. V, you can't be serious. I'm completely serious. I know exactly when she'll be at the gym. I've been watching her for weeks. Derek gave me her entire schedule. If you do this, you'll go to jail. Only if I get caught. And who's going to believe her over me? Everyone will think she's just a jealous, crazy, pregnant woman. The recording ended. Natalie sat in silence, processing, the premeditation, the calculation, the complete lack of remorse. This is attempted murder, she finally said. Yes, James agreed, and conspiracy. Your husband provided her with your schedule. He knew what she was planning. How do we prove he knew? James pulled up more messages, text exchanges between Derek and Vanessa. From Vanessa, I'm done waiting. I'm going to make this happen. From Derek, what are you going to do? Vanessa, better if you don't know. Just trust me. By next week, your problem will be solved. Derek, don't do anything stupid. Vanessa, it's not stupid. It's necessary. You'll thank me later. Derek, when are you going to talk to her? Vanessa, Thursday at the gym, 9:30. She'll be there for yoga. Derek, maybe you should wait. Think about this. Vanessa, I've thought about nothing else for months. This ends Thursday. The messages were from 3 days before the assault. Derek knew. Maybe he didn't know the exact details. Maybe he convinced himself Vanessa was just going to talk to Natalie. But he knew something was going to happen. And he did nothing to stop it. She did what she always did when overwhelmed. Made lists. She pulled out her phone, opened her notes app, and started typing. Evidence of premeditation. 1. Deleted social media posts about handling the problem. 2. Text messages to friends about making me miscarry. Voice recording stating intent to cause miscarriage. For Derek providing my schedule. Derek's text showing he knew something was planned. Vanessa arriving 2 hours early at Gym 7. Video showing her watching me before approaching 8. Deliberate kick caught on camera. She stared at the list. 8 pieces of evidence, each one stronger than the last. This isn't just assault anymore, Carol said. This is conspiracy to commit murder. James nodded. I've already sent everything to Detective Reeves. He's forwarding it to the DA. They're filing new charges this afternoon. Say, 2 hours later, Marcus Reeves arrived with news. Vanessa Pierce has been rearrested. The charges have been upgraded to attempted murder of an unborn child and conspiracy to commit murder. No bail this time. She's being held pending trial. What about Derek? He's being questioned now. Based on the text messages, he's facing conspiracy charges too. The DA is deciding whether to charge him as an accessory or a co-conspirator. Natalie felt nothing. No satisfaction, no relief, just emptiness. When is the trial? Preliminary hearing is in 2 weeks. Actual trial probably won't start for 3 to 4 months. These cases take time. 3 to 4 months. Her baby would be born by then, would be outside of her, safe and real, by the time justice was served. Will I have to testify? Yes, but we can arrange for video testimony if you're recovering from birth or if the baby needs special care. The baby kicked, strong and deliberate, like a reminder that the baby was still there, still fighting. Marcus hesitated. There's one more thing. Vanessa gave a statement to her lawyer. She's claiming self-defense. Says you attacked her first and she was just protecting herself. That's a lie. I know, we have video proving it's a lie, but her lawyer is going to put you on trial too. They're going to say you were the aggressor, that you were jealous and unstable. Let them, Natalie said. Let them try. I have the truth. I have evidence. I have witnesses. What do they have? A very expensive lawyer and a narrative that some people will want to believe. Carol stood up. Then we make sure everyone knows the real story. We fight back. We don't hide. Natalie looked at her mother, at Beth, at Marcus, at James. All these people fighting for her, believing in her. She had ignored 37 red flags. She had let Derek lie to her for months. She had walked into that gym completely unprepared for what was waiting. But she wasn't that person anymore. That person had died on the gym floor. This new version, the one growing alongside her baby, was stronger, angrier, done with being nice. File the charges, Natalie said, against both of them. I want them to pay for everything they've done. Marcus smiled. Already done. The next morning, Derek's lawyer called. Natalie didn't take the call. Robert Sullivan did, with Natalie listening on speakerphone. My client is willing to offer a very generous settlement in exchange for dropping the criminal charges and moving forward with an amicable divorce. Robert's laugh was cold. Your client doesn't get to negotiate. He's facing criminal conspiracy charges. And my client isn't interested in his money. She's interested in justice. Mr. Sullivan, let's be reasonable. Derek made some mistakes, but he never intended for anyone to get hurt. He provided his pregnant wife's schedule to his mistress, who then used that information to assault her. That's not a mistake. That's conspiracy. The text messages are ambiguous at best. There's no proof Derek knew what Vanessa was planning. Then let a jury decide. A pause. Then the lawyer's voice harder now. You're making a mistake. My client has resources. He can drag this out for years, tie up all assets, make sure your client gets nothing. Your client can try, but Judge Morrison doesn't tolerate financial bullying, especially not in cases involving pregnant women who've been assaulted. Try to hide assets, and Derek will end up in jail for contempt on top of everything else. The lawyer hung up. Robert turned to Natalie. He's scared. That's good. Scared people make mistakes. What kind of settlement was he offering? Full custody to you, child support, and 70% of assets. He keeps the house in his business. That's not generous. That's insulting. Exactly, which is why we're not taking it. We're going for everything. Full custody, the house, his business assets, everything he tried to hide. Carol entered with coffee and news. The story hit national media. CNN picked it up. So did NBC. Natalie's stomach dropped. No. Yes, they're calling it the gym attack case. Video has been viewed over 30 million times now. 30 million people. 30 million people who had watched her worst moment. The comments are interesting, though, Carol continued. Women are coming forward with their own stories. About being pregnant and vulnerable. About partners who betrayed them. About people who attacked them when they were at their most defenseless. She showed Natalie her tablet. Thousands of comments, stories, support. This isn't just about you anymore. You've become a symbol. The pregnant woman who fought back. I didn't fight back. I fell down and almost lost my baby. You survived. You pressed charges. You're pursuing justice. That's fighting back. DeWarren came in for the morning check. The baby's heart rate was stable, 138 beats per minute, strong and steady. Movement has increased, the doctor said. That's a very good sign. Does that mean the abruption is healing? It means it hasn't gotten worse. We're not out of danger yet, but we're moving in the right direction. Hope. A tiny seed of hope planted itself in Natalie's chest. How much longer in the hospital? At least another week, maybe 2. We need to make sure you and the baby are stable before discharge. And even then, you'll be on modified bed rest until delivery. Modified bed rest? Light activity only, no stress, no heavy lifting, lots of rest. No stress, as if that were possible while facing a criminal trial and a divorce. After the doctor left, Marcus Reeves arrived with Detective Chen and a woman Natalie didn't recognize. This is Assistant District Attorney Karen Morrison, Marcus said. She's prosecuting Vanessa Pierce and potentially Derek Hayes. Karen Morrison was 40-something, sharp-eyed, and carried herself like someone who had won too many cases to be intimidated by expensive defense lawyers. Mrs. Hayes, I need to be direct with you. This case is going to be difficult. Vanessa's father has hired one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the state. They're going to attack your character, your marriage, your mental state. Let them. They're going to say you were the aggressor, that you have a history of jealousy and instability. I don't. I know, but they'll create one. They'll find people from your past, twist words, take things out of context. By the time they're done, they'll paint you as an unstable woman who attacked a younger, prettier woman out of jealousy. Natalie felt the old fear creeping in, the desire to make herself smaller, to apologize, to back down. Then the baby kicked, hard, defiant. My baby is fighting. If this baby can fight, so can I. I don't care what they say about me. I care about justice. That woman tried to kill my baby. My husband helped her. I'm not backing down. Karen smiled. Good, because I need you strong for this. The trial is going to be brutal, but we have the evidence. We have the video. We have the text messages. We have witnesses. We're going to win. When does it start? Preliminary hearing in 2 weeks. That's just to establish probable cause. The actual trial probably won't start for 3 months, after your baby is born. 3 months. So much could happen in 3 months. What about Derek's charges? That's more complicated. We need to prove he knew Vanessa's specific intentions. The text messages help, but they're not definitive. He can claim he thought she was just going to talk to you, confront you about the affair. What do you need to charge him? A smoking gun, something that proves he knew she intended violence. Marcus pulled out his tablet. We're still going through deleted messages and emails. If there's something there, we'll find it. After they left, Natalie sat in the quiet room. The baby moved, regular movements now, like the baby was settling back into a rhythm. She opened her notes app again, added to her list of ignored red flags. Number 38, he stopped saying we and started saying I. As in, I'm going to the gym instead of we should work out together. As in, I'm going out of town instead of we have a trip. He removed me from his life one pronoun at a time. Beth arrived during evening visiting hours. She brought real food from outside. Thai takeout, Natalie's favorite. You look better, Beth said. I feel better. The baby's moving more, that helps. I'm sorry for not telling you earlier, for being a coward. You weren't a coward. You were trying to protect me. I get it now. Still, I should have trusted you to handle the truth. They ate in silence for a while. Then Beth spoke again. I saw Derek today. At the coffee shop near the hospital. Natalie's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. What did he say? Nothing. I didn't talk to him. But he looked terrible, like he hasn't slept in days. He was on the phone with someone, arguing about money. His lawyer probably cost a fortune. Good. He deserves to lose everything. The vindictiveness in Beth's voice matched the feeling in Natalie's heart. She should feel bad about that, about wanting revenge, about wanting him to suffer. She didn't. The hearing is in 2 weeks, Natalie said. I'm going to testify. Are you sure? You'll still be recovering. I'm sure. I want to look her in the eye. I want her to see me, see my belly, see what she tried to destroy. You're stronger than I am. No, I'm just angrier. After Beth left, Natalie lay in the dark. The baby hiccuped, tiny rhythmic movements that made her smile despite everything. She pulled out her phone, opened it to a blank note, started typing. Letter to my baby. You don't know this yet, but you're already teaching me how to fight. Every kick reminds me that survival is an active choice. Every movement proves that we're both still here, still trying, still refusing to give up. Your father doesn't deserve to know you. The woman who tried to hurt you will pay for what she did. And I will spend the rest of my life making sure you grow up knowing that you are wanted, loved, protected. We're going to make it through this, together. She saved the note, titled it Hope, because that's what she'd decided to name her daughter. Hope, a name that meant exactly what it said, a name that promised a future worth fighting for. Outside, the sun set over the hospital parking lot. Somewhere in the city, Vanessa sat in jail. Derek sat in his empty house. And Natalie lay in her hospital bed, hands on her belly, counting down the days until justice. Day 5 in the hospital. Natalie woke at 2 in the morning to contractions. Not the gentle Braxton Hicks she had been having for weeks. Real contractions. Sharp. Purposeful. Too early. She pressed the call button. Dr. Warren arrived within minutes. The on-call team followed. Monitors, examinations. Urgent voices trying to sound calm. The contractions are regular, every 7 minutes. We're going to give you medication to stop them. What if it doesn't work? Then we prepare for delivery. 29 weeks and 4 days. The baby was supposed to have 11 more weeks. 11 weeks to grow lungs and brain and strength. The medication went into her IV. Cool, clinical. Her last hope in a bag of clear liquid. Carol appeared in the doorway, pulled from sleep by the nurse's call. What's happening? Contractions. They're trying to stop them. Her mother took her hand, squeezed. You're going to be okay. Both of you. The contractions continued, 5 minutes apart, 4 minutes, 3. Warren's face showed the first crack in her professional composure. Get the OR ready. If this doesn't slow down in the next 30 minutes, we're delivering. 30 minutes. Natalie had 30 minutes to keep her baby inside, to give the baby 30 more minutes of safety. She closed her eyes, focused on breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth, just like prenatal class, just like they taught her before everything fell apart. The baby moved, weak movements, like the baby was tired too. Stay in there, Natalie whispered, just a little longer, please. 15 minutes passed, the contractions slowed, 6 minutes apart, 7, 8. Dr. Warren exhaled. It's working. 25 minutes. The contractions stopped. We're not out of danger, the doctor said, but we've bought some time. Time, that's all any of them had. Small increments of borrowed time. The sun rose. Natalie hadn't slept. Carol sat in the chair beside the bed, holding her hand. Neither of them spoke. Words felt too heavy. At 9 in the morning, Robert Sullivan arrived. Derek was arrested this morning. Natalie's eyes opened. What? They found more text messages, deleted messages between him and Vanessa from the day of the assault. He pulled out his tablet. These were recovered from the cloud backup of his phone. The messages appeared on screen. From Derek, sent at 8:15 a.m. the day of the assault. She's leaving for the gym in 15 minutes. Good luck. From Vanessa, sent at 8:53 and I'm in position. She just walked in. From Derek, sent at 9:02 a.m. Remember, make it look like self-defense. From Vanessa, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Natalie read them twice. 3 times, the words didn't change. He knew, she said. He knew exactly what she was going to do. Yes, he's been charged with conspiracy to commit assault and attempted murder. He's in custody now. Bail hearing is this afternoon. Will he get out? The DA is arguing no bail. He's a flight risk with significant financial resources, but Judge Morrison will decide. Carol stood up. I'm going to that hearing. I want to look him in the eye. Mom, you don't have to. Yes, I do. He tried to have my grandchild killed. I'm going to make sure he sees my face when they deny him bail. After they left, Natalie was alone with her thoughts and the beeping monitor. She had loved Derek once, truly loved him. She remembered their wedding day, the way he cried when she walked down the aisle, the promises they made to each other, for better or worse, in sickness and health. When did worse become attempted murder? When did I love you become make it look like self-defense? She couldn't pinpoint the exact moment their marriage died. Maybe it had been dying for years, slowly, quietly, while she made excuses and ignored red flags and told herself everything was fine. The door opened. A woman she didn't recognize entered, 50-something, well-dressed, carrying flowers. Can I help you? I'm Linda Hayes, Derek's mother. Natalie should have called security, should have told her to leave. Instead, she just stared. I know you don't want to see me, Linda continued, but I need to say this. Derek is a good man. He made mistakes, but this girl, Vanessa, she manipulated him. She seduced him. He's the victim here. The words were so absurd that Natalie almost laughed. He's the victim? I'm in the hospital. My baby almost died, but he's the victim? He never meant for any of this to happen. He loves you. He loves the baby. He texted his mistress my schedule so she could attack me. That's love? Linda's face hardened. You're twisting things, taking messages out of context. Derek would never hurt you intentionally. Get out. If you would just talk to him, get out. Linda didn't move. You're destroying his life. He could go to prison. For what? For loving someone? Something inside Natalie broke, not her heart. Hearts break softly. This was bone-snapping, loud, final. He told his mistress to make it look like self-defense. That means he knew she was going to attack me. He knew and he helped her plan it. He chose her over his own child, over me, over everything we built together. So yes, I'm destroying his life because he tried to destroy mine. You're hysterical. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking more clearly than I have in months. Get out of my room before I call security. Linda turned to leave. At the door, she paused. You were never good enough for him anyway. I told him that when you first started dating. You come from nothing. You have nothing to offer except that baby. And now you're using it as a weapon. The baby kicked, hard, angry, like the baby heard the insult and disagreed. Natalie pressed the call button. I need security in room 412. Now. Security escorted Linda out. Dr. Warren arrived moments later. Your blood pressure is spiking again. What happened? My mother-in-law happened. The one we specifically banned from visiting? Yes. She's been added to hospital security watch list. If she comes back, she'll be arrested for trespassing. The doctor checked the monitor vitals. But right now, I need you to calm down. Focus on the baby. Natalie closed her eyes, tried to find calm in the chaos, but all she could feel was rage. Rage at Derek for his lies. Rage at Vanessa for her cruelty. Rage at Linda for her audacity. Rage at herself for not seeing it sooner. But underneath the rage, deeper and darker, was vulnerability. Raw and terrifying. What if she lost the baby anyway? What if all this fighting was for nothing? What if she ended up alone with empty arms and a broken heart? The thoughts spiraled. 3 a.m. thoughts in the middle of the day. What if? What if? What if? She did what she always did when overwhelmed. She reorganized her hospital drawer, sorted the chapstick, the hand sanitizer, the hair ties, everything in perfect order. If she could control this one small space, maybe she could control something. Anything. The baby hiccuped, rhythmic, soothing, a reminder that life continued even in chaos. Beth arrived during her lunch break. She took one look at Natalie and knew. Dark place? The darkest. Tell me. And Natalie did. Told her about the 3 a.m. thoughts, the what-ifs, the fear that even if the baby survived, she would be alone forever, that no one would ever love her again, that Derek had been right to choose someone else because she was lacking in some fundamental way. That's bullshit, Beth said flatly. Is it? Yes, you're in a hospital bed because your husband's mistress tried to kill your baby. You're fighting criminal charges and a divorce while pregnant and traumatized. You're allowed to have dark thoughts, but those thoughts are lies. They feel true. I know, but feelings aren't facts. The fact is, Derek is a coward who chose the easy road. The fact is, Vanessa is a criminal who hurt you because she's cruel. The fact is, you're surviving something that would destroy most people. That doesn't make you lacking. That makes you extraordinary. Natalie wanted to believe her, wanted to feel extraordinary instead of broken. I'm so tired, Beth. I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of pretending I'm okay when I'm barely holding on. Then stop pretending. Be not okay. Be tired. Be broken, but don't give up. They sat in silence. Beth held Natalie's hand. The monitor beeped. The baby moved. Life continued. Carol returned from the bail hearing at 4 p.m. Denied. Derek's bail was denied. He's being held until trial. On what grounds? Flight risk, danger to you and the baby. The judge said anyone who would conspire to harm his own child is too dangerous to be released. Justice, small, imperfect, but justice nonetheless. How did he look? Terrible, like he hasn't slept. His lawyer tried to argue that he has business obligations. The judge didn't care, said the business can wait, justice can't. Natalie felt nothing, no satisfaction, no relief, just emptiness. The hardest part isn't what they did. It's accepting that I knew. Somewhere deep down, I knew. And I chose to ignore it. That night, alone into the dark, Natalie wrote another letter to Hope. Today, your grandmother called you a weapon. She doesn't understand that you're not a weapon. You're a reason to keep fighting, a reason to demand better, a reason to stop accepting less than I deserve. Your father is in jail now. He'll probably stay there for a while. I don't know how to explain that to you when you're old enough to ask. How do I tell you that the man who helped create you also tried to destroy you? But I'll figure it out, because that's what mothers do. We figure it out. We protect. We survive. Starting over feels impossible, but staying feels worse. She saved the letter, turned off the light, lay in the darkness listening to her baby's heartbeat on the monitor. 140 beats per minute. Strong, steady, fighting. If the baby could fight, so could she. 2 weeks later, Natalie sat in a wheelchair outside the courtroom. The preliminary hearing, just to establish probable cause. Robert Sullivan had tried to convince her to testify via video. She refused. I need to look at her. I need her to see me. The baby was 31 weeks now. Every day had been a victory. Every kick a celebration. Dr. Warren had reluctantly cleared her for this one trip with conditions. 2 hours maximum. If you feel any contractions, any pain, anything at all, you leave immediately. Understood? Understood. Carol pushed the wheelchair. Beth walked beside them. Robert Sullivan led the way. The courthouse was packed. Media everywhere. Cameras, reporters, all wanting a piece of the story. Pregnant woman testifies against attacker. Mistress on trial for assault. Love triangle turns violent. Love triangle, as if this was some romance novel instead of attempted murder. Security cleared a path. They entered through a side door to avoid the crowd. Inside the courtroom, Natalie saw Derek for the first time since the gym. He sat at the defense table wearing a suit, looking thin and pale. Their eyes met. He looked away first. Vanessa sat at her own defense table. Designer suit, perfect makeup, hair professionally styled. She looked like she was attending a business meeting, not a hearing for attempted murder. When Vanessa saw Natalie, she smiled. Small, cruel. The same smile from the gym. Natalie's hands went to her belly, protective. The baby kicked in response. All rise, Judge Morrison entered. 60-something, silver hair, reputation for being tough but fair. The hearing began. The prosecution presented evidence. The video from the gym, the text messages, the voice recording, each piece building the case brick by brick. Then it was Natalie's turn to testify. Robert Sullivan wheeled her to the witness stand. She was sworn in, her voice steady despite her shaking hands. Mrs. Hayes, can you tell us what happened on the morning of October 15th? Natalie took a breath, told the story, every detail, the parking lot, Derek's car, the weight room, Vanessa's cruel words. What did Miss Pierce say to you before the assault? She said, I know you are pregnant. That's the problem. What did you understand that to mean? That my pregnancy was an obstacle to her, that she wanted it gone. What happened next? She kicked me, deliberately, in my stomach. Can you describe the kick? It was controlled, precise, like she had practiced it. She aimed for my belly. She meant to hurt the baby. Vanessa's lawyer objected. Speculation. Sustained, the judge said. The witness will testify only to what she observed, not to the defendant's intent. Natalie continued. The kick was hard. I felt pain immediately. I hit my head, started bleeding. Were you afraid? Yes, I was afraid I was going to lose my baby. Did you provoke Ms. Pierce in any way? No, I saw her with my husband. I was shocked, but I didn't approach her. She approached me. Vanessa's lawyer stood for cross-examination. Expensive suit, practiced smile. Mrs. Hayes, you were jealous of my client, weren't you? I was hurt. Hurt enough to attack her? I didn't attack anyone. But you admit you confronted her about her relationship with your husband? I didn't confront anyone. I walked into the gym. I saw them together. Before I could say anything, she approached me. You expect us to believe that my client, who had never met you before, just decided to randomly attack you? She had been planning it for weeks. The text messages proved that. Or you had been planning to confront her, and when she defended herself, you got hurt. Natalie felt her blood pressure rising. The baby kicked. Hard. Uncomfortable. I'm 7 months pregnant. I weigh 130 pounds. Your client is a personal trainer. Tell me how I threatened her enough that she needed to defend herself by kicking me in the stomach. Pregnant women can be aggressive, hormonal, unpredictable. Robert Sullivan stood. Objection. Counsel is testifying. Sustained. The lawyer changed tactics. Mrs. Hayes, how long have you suspected your husband of infidelity? Since April. So for 6 months, you've been jealous, angry, resentful. I've been betrayed enough to create a scene at a public gym. I didn't create a scene. I was assaulted. Or you were confronted with the reality that your husband loved someone else, and you lashed out. Natalie's hands gripped the wheelchair arms. She wanted to scream, wanted to tell this lawyer exactly where to go, but she kept her voice steady. Your client planned to make me miscarry. She told her friends. She told anyone who would listen. She watched me for weeks. She arrived at the gym 2 hours early and waited for me. When I walked in, she smiled at me and then kicked my pregnant belly as hard as she could. That's not self-defense, that's attempted murder. The lawyer smiled. No further questions. Natalie was wheeled back to her seat, her whole body shaking. The baby kicked. Frantic movements. Uncomfortable. Are you okay? Carol whispered. No, but I did it. The prosecution called Grace Mitchell next, the gym member who had recorded Vanessa's confession. Grace testified about the coffee shop conversation, about Vanessa's explicit plans to handle the wife problem. She said she was going to make Mrs. Hayes miscarry. She was very clear about her intentions. Vanessa's lawyer tried to discredit her, suggested she was lying for attention. Grace didn't waver. I recorded it because I was afraid someone would get hurt. I was right. Detective Marcus Reeves testified next about the surveillance footage, the timeline, the premeditation. Ms. Pierce arrived at the gym 2 hours before Mrs. Hayes. She parked where she could see the entrance as she waited. When Mrs. Hayes arrived, Ms. Pierce watched her for 15 minutes before approaching. This was not a chance encounter. This was planned. The final witness was James Chen, the digital forensics expert. He testified about the deleted messages, the social media posts, the digital trail Vanessa thought she had erased. In my professional opinion, Ms. Pierce spent weeks planning this assault. She documented her intentions multiple times. She discussed it with friends. She researched pregnancy and miscarriage. She knew exactly what she was doing. After 3 hours of testimony, Judge Morrison spoke. I've heard enough. There is clear and convincing evidence of probable cause. This case will proceed to trial. Ms. Pierce will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Hayes' case will be heard separately next week. The gavel struck. Vanessa's face went white. No, this isn't fair. He said he loved me. He said... Her lawyer silenced her. But the damage was done. The outburst captured by every reporter in the room. Outside the courtroom, Natalie faced the cameras. Robert Sullivan had advised against it. She did it anyway. I want to say something to every woman who has ever been pregnant and scared. To every woman who has been betrayed. To every woman who has been made to feel like her pain doesn't matter. It matters. You matter. Your babies matter. And people who tried to hurt you should pay for what they've done. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to be ashamed. I'm going to stand up and fight back, and I'm going to win. The cameras flashed. The reporters shouted questions. Carol wheeled her away. In the car, Natalie felt the baby kick. Strong, regular, like the baby approved. You did good, Beth said. You were amazing. I was terrified. You looked strong, unbreakable. Natalie didn't feel unbreakable. She felt like she was held together by tape and hope and sheer stubbornness. But maybe that was enough. Back at the hospital, Dr. Warren was waiting. You were gone longer than 2 hours. I know, I'm sorry. And your blood pressure is elevated, but not dangerously so. How do you feel? Tired, but okay. The baby's moving a lot. Good, that's good. The doctor smiled. I saw your statement on the news. You've become quite the advocate. I didn't mean to. Sometimes we become what we need to be, not what we intended to be. That night, Natalie slept better than she had in weeks. The testimony was done. The preliminary hearing was over. Vanessa was staying in jail. Derek was staying in jail. Justice was slow, but it was coming. And in the meantime, Natalie had a baby to prepare for, a new life to build, a future that didn't include the man who betrayed her or the woman who tried to destroy her. She opened her notes app, added one more line to her list of evidence. Number 9, my own testimony, my own voice, my own truth. Then she opened a new note, started a different kind of list. Things I need for hope: crib diapers, clothes, love, safety, a mother who refuses to give up. She had the last 3 already, the first 3 she could buy. It wasn't the life she had planned, but it was the life she was building. One day, one breath, one fight at a time, 36 weeks. Dr. Warren stood at the foot of the bed with news that made Natalie's heart skip. We're going to induce labor tomorrow. Tomorrow, but I'm not due for 4 more weeks. The baby is showing signs of distress. Nothing immediate, but enough that I don't want to wait. 36 weeks is safe. The baby's lungs are developed. All major organs are functional. It's time. Tomorrow. Her baby would be here tomorrow. Natalie's hands went to her belly. The baby kicked back. Strong, defiant, ready or not. What time? 6 a.m. We'll start the induction process. Could take 12 hours. Could take 24. Every labor is different. After the doctor left, Natalie sat in the quiet room, processing. Tomorrow she would meet her daughter. Tomorrow, hope would be real. Outside, separate, her own person. Carol arrived with dinner from Natalie's favorite restaurant. Real food, last meal before the hospital's clear liquid diet. How are you feeling? Terrified, excited, both. That's normal. I felt the same way before you were born. Did you know Dad would leave? The question surprised them both. Carol set down her fork. No, I thought we would make it work. But after you were born, he changed, got distant, started working more. 6 months later, he was gone. I always thought I'd do it differently. Have the perfect marriage, the perfect family. There's no such thing as perfect. There's just doing your best with what you've got. What I've got is a baby, a divorce, and 2 people facing criminal charges. What you've got is strength, courage, and a daughter who's going to grow up knowing her mother fought for her. Beth arrived with baby clothes, tiny sleepers, impossibly small socks. I can't believe she'll fit in these. She will, barely, but she will. They spent the evening organizing the baby's things, folding clothes, arranging supplies, normal things that felt extraordinary given everything else. At midnight, Natalie couldn't sleep. She walked the hospital halls, IV pole in tow, counting her last hours of pregnancy. A nurse found her at the window overlooking the parking lot. Can't sleep? Tomorrow changes everything. It does, but you're ready. How do you know? Because you're here, walking, preparing. You didn't give up when most people would have. That's how I know you're ready. Back in her room, Natalie wrote her final letter to Hope before the birth. Tomorrow I meet you. Tomorrow you become real in a way that's both terrifying and beautiful. I don't know what kind of mother I'll be. I don't know if I'll do everything right, but I know I'll love you with everything I have. Your father is in jail. Your grandmother tried to blame me for his choices. The woman who tried to hurt you is facing trial. But none of that matters tomorrow. Tomorrow is just you and me, starting our life together. I'm ready. I think. Maybe. Ready or not, here we come. 6 a.m. arrived too quickly and not quickly enough. Dr. Warren and the nursing team prepped her for induction. 4 monitors, medication to start contractions. This could take a while, the doctor said. Get comfortable. Rest when you can. The medication started working around 9 a.m. Mild contractions, uncomfortable but manageable. By noon, the contractions were stronger. Natalie focused on breathing. Carol held one hand. Beth held the other. 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. The contractions intensified. Natalie's world narrowed to the space between each wave of pain. "You're doing great," the nurse said. "Progressing nicely." At 6 p.m., Dr. Warren checked again. "You're at 8 centimeters. Almost there. 8 centimeters. 2 more to go. 2 more centimeters between her and meeting her daughter." The door opened. Marcus Reeves stood in the hallway. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but Derek escaped custody." Everything stopped. "What?" "During transport to court for his hearing this morning, he overpowered the guard. He's been missing for 7 hours. Carol stood. "He wouldn't come here. He wouldn't dare. We have security posted outside the room. He won't get near you, but I needed you to know." Natalie felt her blood pressure spike. The monitor beeped faster. The baby's heart rate elevated. Dr. Warren checked the readings. "We need to calm down. This isn't good for the baby." "My husband escaped jail and you want me to calm down?" "I need you to focus on the labor. Let the police handle Derek." Another contraction. This one harder. Longer. Natalie gripped the bed rail and breathed through it. 7 p.m., 8 p.m. The contractions came faster. Harder. Relentless. "You're at 10 centimeters, Dr. Warren said. It's time to push." Time. After weeks of waiting, after months of betrayal, after a lifetime of pain, it was time. "On the next contraction, I want you to push as hard as you can." The contraction came. Natalie pushed. The pain was unlike anything she had imagined. Splitting, burning, impossible. Again, one more big push. She pushed. The room spun, voices blurred, everything narrowed to this single moment, this single purpose. "I can see the head. One more push and we'll have the baby." One more. Natalie gathered everything she had left. All the rage, all the fear, all the love. She channeled it into one final push. And then, a cry. Small, furious, perfect. "It's a girl." Dr. Warren lifted the baby, tiny, pink, screaming with healthy lungs. "Hope," Natalie whispered. "Her name is Hope." They placed the baby on Natalie's chest, warm, wet, real. Hope looked up with unfocused eyes. Her tiny hand wrapped around Natalie's finger. "You survived. We both survived." Carol cried. Beth cried. The nurses cried. Even Dr. Warren's eyes were wet. Hope weighed 5 pounds, 9 ounces, 17 inches long. Perfect APGAR scores. Healthy despite everything. "She's beautiful," Carol said. "Absolutely perfect." Natalie counted fingers, counted toes, counted the miracle of her daughter breathing and crying and existing despite everyone who had tried to prevent it. A commotion in the hallway, shouting, security. Marcus burst in. "He's here. Derek is in the hospital. We're searching now." Dr. Warren moved the baby to the warming table. "Lock this room. No one in or out except security and medical staff." The door locked. Natalie held Hope, her newborn daughter, less than an hour old. And somewhere in the hospital, Derek was looking for them and, "He's not going to get near her," Natalie said. "I won't let him." 10 minutes of chaos, then Marcus returned. "We have him. He was in the parking garage, trying to figure out which floor you're on. He's back in custody." Double guard this time. Relief flooded through Natalie. Hope started to fuss. That newborn cry that meant nothing and everything. "She's hungry," the nurse said. "Want to try nursing?" Natalie held her daughter to her breast. Hope latched immediately. Strong, determined, a fighter from the start. "You're a natural," Beth said. "Or she is." They moved Natalie to a recovery room. Private, quiet, security posted outside. Carol and Beth left to let Natalie and Hope rest, alone with her daughter for the first time. Hope slept in her arms, making small sounds, tiny movements, existing in the world. Natalie took a selfie, just her and Hope. No wedding ring, no husband, no trauma in the frame. Just a mother and daughter, starting over, together. She sent it to her lawyer with a caption. "The woman they tried to destroy, the baby they tried to kill, still here, still fighting." Robert Sullivan responded immediately. "She's beautiful. You're both warriors." That night, Natalie didn't sleep. She watched Hope breathe, counted each breath like a blessing. Her daughter was here, real, safe. Derek was back in custody. Vanessa was awaiting trial. Justice was coming. But right now, in this moment, none of that mattered. Right now was just Natalie and Hope, mother and daughter, survivors. Hope stirred, opened her eyes, looked at Natalie with that unfocused, newborn stare. Hi, baby girl. I'm your mom. I know the world is scary. I know there are people who wanted to hurt you, but I promise I will spend every day of my life making sure you're safe, making sure you're loved, making sure you know that you were wanted, you were fought for, you were worth everything. Hope yawned, tiny, perfect, then settled back into sleep. Natalie closed her eyes, held her daughter close, and for the first time in months, she felt something other than fear or rage. She felt hope. 6 weeks later, Natalie sat in the courtroom with Hope sleeping in her arms. The trial had lasted 3 weeks. Today was verdict day. The jury had been deliberating for 4 hours. Each minute felt like a year. Hope stirred, made small sounds. Natalie adjusted her position. The baby settled. You don't have to be here, Robert Sullivan said. We can call you when the verdict comes in. I need to be here. I need to see her face when they read it. Vanessa sat at the defense table, still perfectly dressed, still perfectly composed. But something had changed. Her confidence had cracked. Natalie could see it in the way she gripped the table, in the way her eyes darted to the jury box. The trial had been brutal. 3 weeks of testimony, of evidence, of Vanessa's lawyer trying to paint Natalie as an unstable, jealous wife. But the evidence was too strong. The video, the text messages, the voice recordings, the witnesses. Grace Mitchell had testified about Vanessa's plans. James Chen had presented the deleted messages. Marcus Reeves had shown the surveillance footage from multiple angles. And Natalie had testified again, with Hope in her mother's arms in the gallery, every word true, every detail precise. The prosecution's closing argument had been devastating. This woman planned to end a pregnancy, not with words, not with persuasion, with violence. She researched miscarriage. She discussed her plans with friends. She stalked the victim. She waited for the perfect moment, and then she kicked a pregnant woman's stomach as hard as she could. That's not self-defense. That's attempted murder. Vanessa's lawyer had tried, argued diminished capacity, argued heat of passion, argued that Vanessa was manipulated by Derek. The jury hadn't bought it. Now they were deciding her fate. The bailiff entered. The jury has reached a verdict. Natalie's heart pounded. Hope slept on, oblivious. The jury filed in. Natalie tried to read their faces. Impossible. Has the jury reached a verdict? The foreman stood. We have, Your Honor. On the charge of attempted murder of an unborn child, how do you find the defendant? Guilty, Vanessa gasped. Her father, sitting in the front row, dropped his head into his hands. On the charge of assault and battery on a pregnant woman, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, how do you find? Guilty. Guilty. On all counts, Vanessa stood. This isn't fair. He said he loved me. He said we would be together. He promised. Her lawyer tried to quiet her. She pushed him away. You don't understand. I did this for us, for our future. He wanted the baby gone too. He told me to do it. Judge Morrison banged the gavel. Miss Pierce, you will control yourself or be removed from this courtroom. Vanessa turned to Derek, who sat at a separate defense table for his own trial. Tell them you wanted this. Tell them it was your idea. Derek looked away, cowered to the end. Security escorted Vanessa out, still screaming, still blaming everyone but herself. Judge Morrison addressed the courtroom. Sentencing will take place in 2 weeks. The defendant will remain in custody until that time. 2 weeks. Then Vanessa would learn how many years she would spend in prison. Derek's trial started the next day. It lasted 1 week. The text messages were his downfall. Make it look like self-defense. Those 6 words destroyed any chance of acquittal. His lawyer argued he never explicitly told Vanessa to hurt Natalie, that he thought they were just going to talk. The jury didn't believe him. Guilty, conspiracy, witness tampering, Insurance fraud from the gym scheme Marcus had been investigating. 7 years, with possibility of parole after 4. Vanessa's sentencing came 2 weeks later. Judge Morrison was not lenient. Ms. Pierce, you planned and executed an attack on a pregnant woman with the specific intent of causing a miscarriage. You showed no remorse, no empathy, no understanding of the gravity of your actions. The court must consider the safety of the community and the need for punishment. She paused. The courtroom held its breath. On all charges combined, I sentence you to 15 years in the state penitentiary. You will be eligible for parole after 8 years. You are also ordered to pay restitution to the victim for all medical expenses and emotional damages. 15 years. Vanessa would be 42 when she got out. She didn't scream this time, just stared straight ahead, blank, defeated. Outside the courthouse, Natalie faced the cameras one final time. Hope bundled in her arms. I want to say something to every woman who's been betrayed, to every mother who's had to fight for her child, to everyone who's been told their pain doesn't matter. It matters. You matter. And justice, real justice, is possible. It's slow, it's hard, it's painful, but it's possible. A reporter shouted a question. What's next for you? I'm starting a support center for women leaving abusive relationships, for pregnant women who need protection, for anyone who needs help getting out. I'm using the settlement money from my divorce, turning pain into purpose. What will you tell your daughter about her father? Natalie looked down at Hope, 6 weeks old, growing stronger every day. I'll tell her the truth, that her father made terrible choices, that he chose poorly, but that she was wanted by me, loved by me, protected by me, and that sometimes losing people who hurt us is actually gaining freedom. 1 year later, the Hope Center opened in downtown Portland. 3 stories, 20 beds, 24/7 hotline, legal services, childcare, everything a woman needed to leave and start over. Natalie stood at the ribbon-cutting ceremony with Hope on her hip, 1-year-old, walking, talking, thriving. This center exists because I survived, because my daughter survived, because we refused to let other people's cruelty define our future. Carol stood beside her, Beth on the other side. Marcus Reeves was there too. They had become friends, real friends, built on trauma but sustained by mutual respect. Grace Mitchell was there. She had become an advocate too, speaking at high schools about recognizing abuse. The center opened. The first residents moved in that night. Women with children, women pregnant and scared, women running from men who promised to love them and then hurt them. Natalie met each one, told them her story, showed them hope. You're going to make it. I know it doesn't feel like it now, but you're gonna make it. To him. 18 months after the assault, Natalie sat in the park with Hope. The baby was running now, chasing birds, laughing at everything. A man approached, 30-something, kind face. He smiled. Is this seat taken? Natalie's first instinct was fear. Then she looked at him, really looked. Saw nothing but genuine friendliness. It's free. He sat. They talked. About nothing, about everything, about the weather and the birds and the beautiful day. Hope ran over, dropped a dandelion in Natalie's lap, then went back to playing. She's beautiful, the man said. Thank you. I'm David, by the way. Natalie. They talked for an hour. He was a teacher, divorced, no kids, but wanted them someday. He made her laugh, actually laugh, not forced or polite, real laughter. When Hope got tired, Natalie stood to leave. Could I give you my number? David asked. Maybe we could get coffee sometime? Natalie's first thought was no. She wasn't ready. She might never be ready. Then she looked at Hope, growing, changing, moving forward. Sure, coffee sounds nice. She took his number, put it in her phone, didn't delete it. Maybe she'd call, maybe she wouldn't. But the possibility existed. The future existed. Not the future she had planned, but a future nonetheless. Walking home, Hope in the stroller, Natalie passed the gym where it all happened. It had closed. The insurance fraud investigation had shut it down. She didn't feel sad, didn't feel angry, just felt distant, like it happened to someone else in another lifetime. She used to think the worst thing that could happen was losing the life she'd built. Turned out the worst thing was staying in a life that was killing her slowly. The gym floor wasn't where she fell. It was where she landed. And from the ground, the only direction left was up. At home, she put Hope down for a nap, opened her laptop, checked the Hope Center statistics. 53 women had come through in 18 months. 47 had successfully left their abusers. 32 had found jobs. 21 had their own apartments. Numbers, statistics, but each one was a life, a person, a survivor. Her phone buzzed. A text from Beth. How are you? Good, really good. New development? Maybe. Met someone at the park, got his number. Details immediately. Natalie smiled, typed back the story. Hope woke from her nap, crying, hungry, normal baby things. Natalie heated a bottle, held her daughter, counted blessings instead of red flags. 1, she survived. 2, Hope survived. 3, justice was served. 4, she built something meaningful from pain. 5, the future was open. Derek would get out of prison someday. So would Vanessa. But Natalie didn't think about that, didn't plan for it, didn't fear it. She had learned that forgiveness wasn't for them. It was for her. She could forgive Derek for being weak, forgive Vanessa for being cruel, and still never let either of them near her daughter. Forgiveness and boundaries weren't opposites. They were partners. That night, Hope asleep in her crib, Natalie wrote one final letter. Dear Hope, you're 18 months old now. You won't remember any of this. The gym, the hospital, the trial, the pain. That's good. You get to start fresh, without the weight of what happened before you were born. But someday when you're older, I'll tell you the story. Not to scare you, not to make you afraid, but to show you that we're both fighters, that we survived something terrible and came out stronger. Your father made choices that hurt us. The woman he loved made choices that almost killed us. But we're still here, still thriving, still building a life worth living. I don't know what your future holds. I don't know if I'll meet someone new, if you'll have siblings, if we'll always be just the two of us. But I know we'll be okay, because we've already survived the worst. Everything else is just details. I love you, more than I knew it was possible to love another person. You saved me as much as I saved you. We saved each other. Love, Mom. She saved the letter, added it to the collection she was building. Stories for Hope. Truth for later. Outside, the sun set over Portland. Inside, Hope slept peacefully, unaware of the battles fought for her, unaware of the justice served in her name. Natalie sat in the quiet house, listening to her daughter breathe, counting blessings, planning futures. The gym floor had been rock bottom. The hospital had been survival. The courtroom had been justice. This, right here, right now, this was victory. Not the victory she had imagined, not the life she had planned, but a life nonetheless, a good life, a life worth fighting for. Hope stirred in her sleep, made small sounds, settled back into dreams, and Natalie smiled, because the future, uncertain as it was, held possibility, held hope, and that was enough. So that's Natalie's story, from the gym floor to the courtroom, from victim to survivor to warrior. I want you to think about something. How many red flags have you ignored in your own life? How many times have you made excuses for someone who didn't deserve them? Natalie counted 37 red flags before everything fell apart. But she's not alone. So many of you have similar stories. I see them in the comments every single day. If this story resonated with you, if it made you feel something, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Not for me to find, but for every woman who's ever felt invisible in her own marriage. For every mother who's had to fight for her child. And if you know someone who needs to hear this story, share it with them. Sometimes we need to see someone else's strength to find our own. Drop a comment and tell me, what would you have done in Natalie's situation? Would you have pressed charges? Would you have fought back? I read every single comment, and I want to hear your thoughts. And if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to this channel because I share stories like this every week. Real stories, raw stories, Stories about women who refused to stay down. Remember, the gym floor wasn't where Natalie fell, it was where she landed. And from the ground, the only direction left was up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And remember, you're stronger than you think. I'll see you in the next story.